This Kamado Joe costs over $2,500, but I've just purchased it off a Facebook Marketplace for only $200 because some of the expensive bits, they've been destroyed. I've not only gambled that this damage is fixable, but I've also bet my wife I can get it all done and cook the dinner for our family tonight on this grill. If I'm right and the $175 replacement dome that I was able to find fixes it, I will have saved over $2,000. But if I'm wrong, I'll never get my money back and I'll have to do something that no husband wants to do and admit to his wife. He was wrong. No, 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 no. I live just outside Toronto, which is one of the largest cities in North America. And because of that large city population near me, there's an abundance of used Kamado grills available for sale. Everything like this one, which I hope comes in on the smoking deal side of things, to prices rivaling almost brand new, except you don't get the protection on a used grill of the lifetime warranty. So if this deal is gonna have any chance of making sense, I need to make sure that I buy this grill at a low enough price to account for any hidden damage along with missing parts that I've not yet discovered without ever crossing over the break-even line of buying brand new. This Classic 2 was listed for $350 and I've just bought it for $200. The listing, and of course when I got there, it was obvious that the dome is beyond repair, but I was able to find not just one, but several brand new Classic replacement domes for as little as $175. So all in, that puts me at $375 versus over $2,500 brand new. The problem is I didn't have time to properly inspect it as I was loading it into the truck. And once I got it home, I started discovering things that weren't in the budget. So before I even think about attempting our family's dinner, I need to get this completely apart and find out if this was a smart gamble or a costly mistake. I knew buying a structurally damaged Kamado Joe was going to be a risk, but once I started taking it apart, it became clear that this was worse than what I expected. As soon as I removed the multi-piece firebox, I could already see damage on at least one of the sections. And the fall didn't just destroy the dome, it also bent the handle that I need to reuse on the replacement dome that I've just bought. Even the side shelf brackets are bent, which means more time, more repair work, and more things that have to be fixed before I can cook on this tonight. To reuse the Airlift Hinge, Kamado Joe requires a special disengagement tool, and unfortunately, this grill doesn't have it. Without that tool, reusing this whole hinge in band assembly becomes a serious problem. Then I noticed something I really didn't like. Well, in this temperature, perhaps I shouldn't be surprised, but that there is ice and moisture inside of the grill. If I try and get this hot too quickly, that trapped moisture could crack even more ceramic parts. But the biggest problem, perhaps of all of them, didn't show up until I actually opened the box on our replacement dome. Even though it was advertised as a Series 2 dome, it's actually for a Series 1. And that means it's not designed to work with the Series 2 Airlift Hinge. If I can't modify this dome is useless, and I will have just wasted $175 and not have the one component that I absolutely need to not only fix this grill, but to have any chance of cooking tonight's dinner. At this point, I have two options. First, we find a way to modify this Series 1 dome for a Series 2 grill, or this entire project stops right now. And that's not gonna help me with the fact I've still got my commitment for family dinner fast approaching. At this point, I'm staring at 6 separate problems that need to be sorted if I'm gonna have any chance of cooking on this grill for tonight's dinner. The first one is the Firebox, and while it looks a little bit bad, upon further inspection, I think it's actually structurally sound enough so that I can get away with using it. And if I'm wrong down the road and I need to replace the Firebox, the good news about the newer multi-piece Firebox design is I can order a single pedestal for about 25 bucks and replace one or as many other ones that are damaged or become damaged once these are exposed to some heat. In order to install the Firebox, if you haven't seen this tip, a way to install these and make it easy if it's just you working on the grill is to roll up some balls of toilet paper or paper towel and place those in behind the pedestals so that they sit away from the outside of the grill and make it easier to install the metal ring that holds everything into place. The metal ring, I inspected it, it wasn't too bad. I've seen ones come a little bit more warped, so I think this is going to be able to seat down properly and hold everything in place. But having learned the hard way, you do want to remove as many of these paper towel or toilet paper balls as possible to avoid having airflow restrictions. I've broken a plastic hanger and used that just to fish out as many as possible to make sure that we don't run into any airflow problems once we get our grill completely back together. These are not precision parts, so I'm going to go about repairing them the old-fashioned way. If any of these snap, I'm sabotaging my $2,000 savings and I'll need to order some additional new replacement parts. I mentioned earlier that the seller couldn't find their included dome disengagement tool. And while I can order a new one for as little as $12.99, it's not the cost that has me concerned, it's the 1 to 2 weeks delivery, which all but guarantees I can't pull this repair off today, let alone cook our family dinner. So instead, I'm gonna head to Home Depot and pick up some parts that from memory look like my previous disengagement tool and see if I can make one myself. This tool, as simple and as cost-effective as it is absolutely critical in working on the airlift hinge. Without it, the repair comes not only precarious, a little bit dangerous as well due to the high tension of the airlift hinge assembly. First, I'll remove as much tension as possible from the airlift hinge by loosening off the spring at the rear of the grill. Next, using the broken dome for some leverage, as well as with some clamps, I'm going to do my best to return the rear of the hinge back to its original level and flush position. And lastly, I'm going to install my makeshift disengagement tool along with the nut to hold everything securely in place. In 20 years of owning and cooking on a variety of different brands ceramic Kamado grills, I can summarize 2 things that they all share in common. First, ceramic does not like moisture in it. And second, they don't like rapid temperature changes. Moment of truth. 1, 2, 3. So before we can go anywhere near grilling temperature levels inside of this grill, we have to slowly dry the grill out using a small controlled fire, or we're gonna risk cracking everything that we just repaired, if not some additional parts. But before we can do any of that, we now need to attempt retrofitting a Series 1 grill dome to work with the Series 2 airlift hinge. Everything else up to this point falls into the slightly inconvenient category to repair. But this next part with the dome is a problem that could end the build right here, right now. As far as I can tell, the geometry on these 2 domes is almost identical. I think to make it work, all I need to do is drill 2 small holes. So this piece is from the rear of our Series 2 dome, and you can see that there are holes for the tabs in the airlift hinge, which are sort of locator pins to help align this. That's the major difference between Series 1, Series 2, and 3 is that we don't have that. So I'm gonna need to add some holes. So let's see how we do. High risk, high reward. Try and find center. I'm gonna use a piece of string as a fulcrum. So that just helps let me know where that hole needs to go. If I get this wrong, I will have destroyed my brand new dome. As I'm assembling this grill back together, It's clear this Kamado Joe was headed towards a disaster with or without it falling off the deck. The bottom band, along with the airlift hinge nuts, were barely finger tight. So I suspect this dome was on the verge of slipping out of the bands and crashing to the ground at any moment. Kamado Joe does a great job packaging their grills that give the appearance of not needing to do a thing when you unbox it. But I cannot stress enough how important it is following my maintenance schedule how-to video in order to avoid a costly disaster just like this grill was headed towards. Now there's only one thing left to do. Let's add some fuel and fire it up. This Kamado Joe was broken and missing parts and never supposed to work. And in the nick of time, exactly 10 minutes before my deadline, it's ready to cook dinner. I have a bunch to fill you in on, including what to look for if you are considering getting yourself a premium Kamado for a 90% discount. But first, we need to get tonight's chicken thighs on the grill. You may have heard the saying, good from afar, but far from good. That might be the perfect description for my Kamado Joe at a 90% discount. Has this grill seen better days? Absolutely. Is any of that gonna matter for the taste test and how it cooks? Not 1%. So looking for value here, which is what I set out to accomplish today, is can we get a premium secondhand Kamado for a 90% discount? I'm gonna give this a massive 2 thumbs up. But that's not to say there aren't some gotchas and caveats to watch out for along the way. So let me go through some of the details of the parts if you are looking for a secondhand Kamado, whether it's Kamado Joe or a Big Green Egg, and I'll put that up in both currencies so you can try and make sense and do some mental math if you find a grill on your local Facebook marketplace to determine if this is a good deal or if some negotiation is needed. Speaking of negotiation, my deal actually got even better when I got home and discovered that the dome was for a Series 1 and I would have to take the risk of getting out the drill and adding some of those bore holes to make sure that the airlift hinge properly lined up and was able to secure it in place. The seller on Goodwill on their own offered to send me an additional discount. So that brings my cost to $100 local currency for the dome, $200 for everything else. So I'm all in for $300 versus $2,500 plus tax in local currency. Absolutely amazing from a deal perspective. So what are some of the things to watch out for as you go along? So the first thing, this one, 100% on James. I didn't even notice in my haste to get this grill home and start today's video that I was missing the included heat deflector. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and add that. If your grill has suffered a fall, much like this one has, the fit and finish on my mallet job on the handles and side tables is absolutely working, along with the handle. But I'll put the costs up for those as well if you are looking to replace them. Some other things that you may need to replace, move into the ceramic. If you have the multi-piece Firebox on the Kamado Joe, thankfully you can replace one at a time for just $25. But if you're looking at a Big Green Egg or a Primo where the Firebox is all one piece, the cost for that goes up a little bit higher unless you're able to find a secondhand one or a donor grill like this started off for in order to lower the cost. So the things that I would look out for from a cost perspective on the Big Green Egg would be the Firebox, the fire ring, as well as the upper and lower components of the ceramic itself. And on the Kamado Joe, also again, your big ticket items are the top dome and the bottom base station. And after that, we're just into some consumables and supplies. What I found most helpful when negotiating on a great deal for a secondhand Kamado of either brand is reminding the seller, and I will say reminding because most people don't know that the lifetime warranty for Primo, Big Green Egg, and Kamado Joe applies only to the original purchaser. So if you're not in the system and registered as the original purchaser and have your receipt for validation, that lifetime warranty does not apply to you. And if you have a seller who comes to terms to grips with the grill that they are selling, does not have the same lifetime warranty and therefore maybe shouldn't be close to brand new prices, you could find yourself also able to secure an absolutely incredible deal. That's about a wrap for today's video. If you have any questions that I didn't cover in the build and the restoration process, let me know and I'll be sure to check out the comments, or you can ask me in person on an upcoming Members Live. Once a month, I go live with all my members where it's a real-time conversation. You can ask any question, what's on your mind, a particular recipe, tip, technique, and or learn from myself or others in the community. It's an absolutely amazing resource. I encourage you to check it out. That's about it for today though. I'm James from Smoke Dad Barbecue signing off. Remember, don't be afraid to fire it up, even if it's on a grill, for 90% off.